Hi everyone. I just thought I'd share with you an experience that I had this morning which highlights the importance of having some self-care tools and techniques at your fingertips in case of emergencies and when you think you might need them. This morning I drove to Southampton, about an hour and just over an hour and a half away from where I live in Weymouth, to take our car to the garage for its first MOT. The drive there was fine. Got the car booked in, and then I was handed the key to the courtesy car that we can have for the next 24 hours. So the guy took me out to the car, and I said, yeah, that's fine, no worries, and got in, and was absolutely overcome with anxiety. And now I've lived with anxiety, or a general anxiety disorder, for quite some years now, but it's been a long time since I felt absolutely paralysed through fear. And there was no need for it because I've been driving for almost 30 years. I've driven an automatic car for the last 2 years. But suddenly sitting in this car, it was a new car, it's a bit different to the one that I drive. And it was like I forgot how to drive and what to do. My heart was racing, my hands were sweaty, I was bunny hopping the car around the car park trying to get to the exit. And then I realised that in fact I was trying to drive it with 2 feet like a manual car and not the automatic that it was. But at one point, after leaving the garage, I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to pull over and just phone Justin and say I can't do this because it just seemed impossible. I felt absolutely useless for driving. I thought, I can't do this. And then common sense kicked in. I thought, this is ridiculous. I started to repeat an affirmation that my mum taught me years ago, and it's one of Louise Hay's affirmations, and it's, I am safe, all is well. And I started to say this over and over again, and partly it distracted my mind, my conscious mind, which was saying, you can't do this, you're rubbish at this, you have to stop now. It distracted that part of my mind, so actually I just went through the motions of driving, and I know how to do it, it's not difficult, but once the fear was removed, or the panic was short-circuited, I was able actually just to drive normally. So I kept repeating, I am safe, all is well, and was driving along okay. I felt nice and calm, but then the rain came on and I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to, I don't even know how to put the wipers on, I don't know how to put the lights on, and it all bubbled up again. Luckily it's automatic, so everything came on without me having to do very much. And I just kept the slow breathing, the mere act of repeating, I am safe, all is well. My mind listens to this, it takes in what I'm saying, and everything started to calm down. I managed to release my vice-like grip on the wheel, and was going along quite okay. And then the low fuel light came on. About it was a bit longer, about an hour, just over an hour into the journey, so I still had about 40 minutes to go. And I thought, oh no, that there was just about enough fuel to get back to Weymouth, but I thought, this is silly. The sake of stopping rather than just running out of fuel on the road would be hugely embarrassing and probably costly to get that sorted as well. So I had to be incredibly brave, and it sounds so ridiculous because these are regular day-to-day tasks that I do all the time and that you all do all the time, and we don't think anything of it, we just do it automatically. But when you suffer from anxiety, suddenly all these things assume massive proportions. So I managed to drive into the petrol station, lots of deep breaths, repeating my affirmations, treated it just like my own car, and a bit of fumbling to get the petrol cap off and so on. Managed to fill it, checking it was indeed the right fuel to go in this car. Went in and paid for the fuel, shaking like a leaf because I was so traumatized by this whole event. I was really shaken by the mere overwhelming nature of having anxiety again like that after such a long time of not. So I'm very much a work in progress. But the difference is that I've got the tools and skills at my fingertips to use. So whenever something like that happens, I mean, it came out of the blue this morning. I was not expecting that. But I've not been sleeping very well, so I've not had much sleep. I hadn't eaten this morning. I had a nice cappuccino when I arrived at the garage while I was waiting for the courtesy car. And normally I don't drink coffee. I have decaf, so I guess the caffeine hit didn't help either. So I was feeling pretty on edge anyway. But thank goodness I was able to bring in the affirmations, which calmed me down, slow breathing, in for 4, out for 4. Saying the affirmations out loud and speaking them, you feel the vibration in your chest, and it's hugely comforting. Repeating something over and over helps to calm you down when you're using the right words, of course. And I was so grateful to have all of these things that I could use, and some more tools that I've used along the journey this morning to keep me calm and in one piece coming home. But it just shows you that anxiety can strike out of nowhere, and it is so important to be able to manage it and get over it. So now I'm back home, I'm doing all the right things. I've drunk 2 pints of water since I've come in through the door, and I'll keep drinking water this afternoon to flush out the caffeine or any other toxins. I've got a lovely mug of my herbal tea. I've got a peace tea with hemp, spearmint and ashwagandha. And ashwagandha is brilliant for reducing cortisol levels, as well as a host of other things. So it's a very calming tea. And I've got my Pulse Point roll-on, which has lovely grounding things like cedarwood, petitgrain and patchouli oil in it. So I'm sniffing all of this, I'm drinking my tea, I'm doing my deep breathing, and I am relaxing after that event this morning. So don't be afraid. I used to panic at the panic when it happened. I used to be fearful of anxiety itself. And now I'm not. I know, I recognise it for what it is. I realise that it's doing something that might be outside my comfort zone, but there are ways of bringing fresh perspective to it and toning down the conscious mind that is screaming on red alert, saying that you need to get out of here. But there are so many ways to bring it down and restore balance to the nervous system again. So yeah, that was the start to my day anyway, and I hope it brings you some insight into just how anxiety can strike at the most normal of situations. And one of the tools, or two of the tools and techniques to calm things down, reciting a good affirmation that means something for you. So I am safe, all is well, is an excellent one to use at any time, whether you're feeling panicked or not. It's a lovely comforting one. And nice, slow, deep breathing, noticing your surroundings. Now and again when I glanced up from the road, I noticed the wind blowing the leaves in the trees. I could feel the wind blowing the car. I was aware of the car around me, the feel of the steering wheel, the support of the seat underneath me and behind me. And all these things really help to calm the nerves down. And and then the anxiety passes and all back on track again. So I hope that's been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.